All right, so we're back and diving into a pretty wild what if today.
Yeah, definitely wild.
It's November 2024, and Trump is back in the White House. And the crypto world is, well, freaking out a little.
A little bit, yeah.
You guys sent in this really interesting article from cryptokraken.com.
I remember that one.
That analyzes, like, how this whole scenario, Trump 2.0, could totally reshape crypto.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just like small tweaks. This is potentially like foundational stuff.
Yeah.
About how crypto is regulated, how people see it.
Exactly. So let's break it down.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the article starts off by taking us back, a little trip down memory lane.
Oh, boy.
To Trump's first term.
Yeah.
Remember how crazy the crypto regulations were then?
Oh, totally. It was a roller coaster.
The SEC was like constantly on everyone's case.
It felt like it. They were cracking down left and right.
And you had Jay Clayton, then Gary Gensler leading the SEC.
Yeah, those guys, both of them, were known for being super strict.
Super strict, lots of uncertainty in the market. People felt like it was killing innovation.
Definitely had that feeling.
So now Trump's back, and this article is saying things might get a lot friendlier regulation-wise.
Could be. Big could be.
But it seems like it all depends on who Trump picks to run the SEC.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
There are a few names floating around, right?
Yep. And they all have very different ideas about crypto.
So that appointment, that's huge. It could make or break things.
No doubt the whole industry is kind of holding its breath.
And here's where it gets really juicy. Jay Clayton, remember him?
The former SEC chair.
Yeah, he's hinting that we might see some, comprehensive crypto legislation under Trump.
Interesting.
Which is, that's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, it's significant for sure.
He's actually sounding pretty optimistic about the whole thing.
I wonder what's behind that.
Well, it does seem like maybe Washington is changing its tune a bit.
Could be, yeah. Moving away from all the suspicion and skepticism.
Starting to see crypto as, a legit part of the financial system.
About time, right.
So, okay, SEC aside, Trump has also gone and created this brand new department.
Oh, yeah. I read about this.
It's called the Department of Government Efficiency.
Catchy.
But wait for it. They're calling it DOGE.
No way.
As in Dogecoin, DOGE.
Wow. They're really leaning into that meme, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely a choice.
Bold move.
So this DOGE department, it's headed up by, get this, Elon Musk.
Makes sense.
And Vivek Ramaswamy.
Huh. Interesting combo.
Their mission to, streamline the government, cut down on all the unnecessary regulations.
So basically cut the red tape.
Exactly.
I can see how that could be good for crypto.
Yeah. How do you see this potentially impacting the crypto sector?
Well, if they actually manage to make the government more efficient,
yeah,
that could create a much friendlier environment for new technologies like, crypto.
It's like a rising tide lifts all boats kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah, a more innovation-friendly atmosphere overall.
Speaking of impact, this article says that right after the election, Bitcoin went nuts.
Oh, yeah. Prices went crazy.
It surged to over $90,000.
That's huge.
Huge. What do you think caused that?
Well, markets react to, what people believe is going to happen. So when people think something good is coming...
Like Trump and crypto-friendly policies.
Exactly. They start buying, and the price goes up.
Makes sense.
In this case, it seems like the whole idea of Trump being good for crypto, that drove the Bitcoin surge.
And it wasn't just Bitcoin. Dogecoin also had a little party of its own.
Oh, yeah. Doge joined in on the fun.
Right after that DOGE department was announced, it spiked almost 20%.
See, even just the name,
The DOGE.
It got people excited, boosted their confidence in Dogecoin.
Even if we don't know if the department will actually do anything for Dogecoin specifically.
Yeah, it's all about perception sometimes.
And this article throws out some pretty mind-blowing numbers.
Oh, yeah, lay 'em on me.
The global crypto market cap, apparently, it hit $3.2 trillion.
Whoa, that's a lot of zeros.
That's a lot of money pouring into the crypto space.
It is. To put that in perspective, the last high was around $3 trillion back in 2021.
So this is a big deal.
Yeah, it shows how much interest in crypto is back.
And that people are feeling pretty good about these, potential regulatory changes.
Makes sense.
And then there's JP Morgan. They're predicting the crypto market could hit $11 trillion.
Whoa, 11 trillion. That's...
But the article does say, these are just predictions.
Of course, yeah. Got to be cautious with those.
It's still a young market, right? Crypto.
Totally. And it can be super volatile.
So while that growth sounds amazing, it's not a guarantee.
Definitely not. Lots of things could happen.
We've been talking mostly about the U.S., but this article keeps saying this is like a worldwide thing.
Oh, for sure. This isn't just America.
Even the Bank for International Settlements, the BIS.
The BIS, yeah, what are they up to?
They're getting involved.
Interesting.
Which is a big deal, right?
Yeah, they influence central banks all over the world.
And they're looking into, tokenization and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs.
So they're taking this seriously.
Yeah, they see this stuff as, like, tools to improve the global money system.
That's huge.
Then there's SWIFT, the system that handles most international payments.
Right. SWIFT, they're essential.
They're planning on integrating digital currencies and tokenized assets by 2025.
Meaning?
Like, you could have stocks or real estate represented on a blockchain.
That's a big step.
Huge step. And if SWIFT fully embraces crypto, it's basically saying, this is legit. This is the future of finance.
Pretty much, yeah. Mainstream adoption for sure.
And then there's this thing called ISO 2022. It's like a new standard for financial transactions.
ISO 2022, I've heard of that, but...
And it seems like cryptos that are already compliant with it, like XRP and XLM, they're in a good spot.
Why is that?
It's all about making different financial systems talk to each other better.
Interoperability, right.
Exactly. So if your crypto plays nice with this new standard...
It'll have an easier time integrating with, like, the big banks and institutions.
Exactly, which is, a big advantage in the long run.
Definitely a leg up.
So we've got all these regulatory changes, the market's going wild, and global financial institutions are paying attention.
It feels like the ground is shifting under our feet.
Now let's zoom in on the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville.
Oh, yeah, that was a big one.
Seems like anyone was there.
All the big names in crypto, for sure.
And this article says it gave some really valuable insights into, where crypto's headed.
Oh, I'm curious to hear about this.
Okay, so President Trump, he gave the keynote address.
Of course.
And he basically said, yep, still a fan of Bitcoin.
Interesting.
What do you make of that?
Well, it's a strong signal coming from the president.
Yeah.
It suggests that his administration might be actively looking for ways to help the crypto sector grow in the U.S.
Which could have a ripple effect globally.
Definitely. Other countries often follow America's lead.
And it wasn't just Trump. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Who ran as an independent, right?
Yeah, he spoke at the conference, too.
Didn't know he was into crypto.
And he also expressed his support for Bitcoin.
So it's not just a one-sided thing.
Exactly. It's not just Republicans or Democrats. It's crossing party lines.
That's interesting. Suggests that the technology itself might be becoming less political.
And then there's Cathie Wood,
the CEO of ARK Invest.
She made a pretty bold prediction at the conference.
Uh-oh, what did she say?
Bitcoin hitting $1 million by 2030.
Wow, that's a big one.
Now, what are your thoughts on that? Possible. Crazy talk.
Well, there are definitely factors that could push Bitcoin that high.
Like what?
More institutional investors getting involved, regulations becoming more favorable.
Yeah.
Bitcoin becoming more integrated into, like, everyday finance.
But reaching $1 million by 2030?
That's a huge jump and would need a massive shift in the market.
And sustained growth, like, for years.
For sure. So while it's an exciting thought, I wouldn't bet the farm on it just yet.
So exciting, but maybe take it with a grain of salt.
A big grain of salt.
Exactly.
Do your own research. Don't just blindly follow predictions.
Always good advice.
Especially in the crypto world.
Now, I want to pick your brain about something.
Okay, shoot.
We've talked about all these exciting developments.
Yeah, lots of potential, lots of hype.
But as with any new technology, there are always potential downsides.
Oh, absolutely. We got to look at both sides of the coin here.
This article touches on the potential downsides of a more hands-off approach to regulation.
Deregulation. That's a hot topic.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the crypto community love the idea of less regulation.
Freedom, innovation, all that.
But I'm curious, what do you see as the potential risks?
Well, one big worry is fraud.
Oh, yeah, scams.
We've already seen a lot of that in crypto, even with the regulations we have.
And without clear rules, wouldn't it be even easier for those bad actors to thrive?
For sure. They'd have a field day.
And what about, like, consumer protection?
Yeah, that's a big one.
If there's less regulation, wouldn't that leave investors more vulnerable?
Absolutely. Right now, there aren't a lot of safeguards in place.
If a crypto project goes belly up, or if you get scammed...
You're kind of on your own.
So stronger regulation could actually be a good thing, especially for new investors.
Definitely. It could provide a safety net.
And this article also talks about market manipulation.
Oh, that's always a concern.
Which can happen in any market, but how could deregulation make it worse for crypto?
Well, crypto is already kind of, the Wild West.
Less transparent, less liquid than traditional markets.
And without proper rules, it's easier for people to manipulate prices, take advantage of others.
So finding the right balance is key, right?
Absolutely, it's tricky.
We want to encourage innovation.
For sure.
But we also need to protect people.
It's about finding that sweet spot between freedom and security.
Which is always a challenge.
Yeah, but a crucial one.
Now, let's zoom out a bit and think about the bigger picture.
Okay, where are we headed?
What are the long-term implications of all this for the future of finance?
Ooh, that's a big question.
It's pretty mind-blowing to think about, right?
Totally. We could be witnessing, a major shift.
So it's not just about the price of Bitcoin going up or down.
No, this is bigger than that.
It's about potentially transforming the whole financial system as we know it.
Exactly. It's about how we think about money, how we use it.
And crypto and blockchain, they have the potential to disrupt everything.
Oh, absolutely. They're game changers.
We've already talked about some of that, like increase efficiency, lower costs.
Yeah, and the possibility of bringing financial services to people who don't have them now.
Financial inclusion.
Huge potential there.
And this article specifically mentions DeFi, decentralized finance.
Oh, yeah, DeFi. That's a hot topic these days.
Can you explain what that is and how it fits into all of this?
Basically, DeFi is about creating a whole financial system.
Okay.
But built on blockchain technology outside of the traditional banks and institutions.
So like cutting out the middleman.
Exactly. It's about giving individuals more control over their own money.
So imagine no need for a bank to get a loan.
Or to send money internationally.
You could do it all through these decentralized platforms.
Yep, peer-to-peer, directly with other people.
That's a huge change.
It is. It's like turning the whole system upside down.
And while DeFi is still pretty new,
it's early days.
It has the potential to fundamentally change how we think about money.
No doubt, it challenges the very idea of traditional finance.
And the article also mentions the possibility of more crypto ETFs being approved.
Crypto ETFs. Yeah, that would be a game changer.
How so?
Well, right now, investing in crypto can be kind of a pain.
Yeah.
Especially for, the average person.
But if you could just buy shares of a crypto ETF
through your regular brokerage account,
it would make it so much easier for people to get into crypto.
Exactly. Lower the barrier to entry.
And that could bring in a flood of new investors.
Mainstream adoption, here we come.
And as more institutional money comes into the market,
it makes crypto seem even more legitimate and accelerates the whole integration into mainstream finance.
So we've got a potential shift in regulations, markets are going crazy, global institutions are getting involved, and we could be on the verge of a financial revolution.
It's a lot to take in.
It does seem like we're headed toward a future where crypto is just a normal part of life.
It's definitely looking that way.
But as with any new technology,
there are always bumps in the road.
What are some of the challenges we might face as crypto becomes more mainstream?
Well, for one, the regulatory landscape is still a mess in many parts of the world.
Yeah, that uncertainty needs to be addressed.
For sure. Clear and consistent rules are essential.
Both to protect people and to allow for innovation.
Exactly. We need a balance.
And then there's the issue of scalability.
Yes, the age-old problem.
Some blockchains just can't handle a ton of transactions.
It's like a traffic jam on the network.
And as more people use crypto,
those networks need to be able to keep up.
Otherwise, there'll be chaos.
So, finding solutions to those scalability problems, that's crucial for the future of crypto.
Absolutely. If we want mass adoption, those networks need to be able to handle it.
No doubt. It's all about building for the future.
So, we've covered a lot of ground. From possible regulation changes to the market going wild and even that whole, financial revolution thing.
That's a lot, yeah.
But now I want to get into something really important.
Okay, what's that?
It's about the potential long-term impact of all this.
A long game, huh?
Exactly. What does it mean for the future of finance?
It's kind of mind-blowing to think about, right?
Totally. We could be watching a whole new system being built right in front of us.
It's not just about, Bitcoin going up or down anymore.
This is bigger.
Way bigger.
We're talking about potentially changing how the whole financial system works.
Yeah, from the ground up.
And crypto and blockchain, they're the tools that could make it happen.
They're disruptive technologies in the truest sense of the word.
We've already touched on some of that, making things more efficient, cutting costs.
And that whole idea of bringing financial services to people who've never had them before.
Financial inclusion, yeah.
That's a huge opportunity.
And this article keeps mentioning DeFi, decentralized finance.
DeFi, yeah, it's everywhere these days.
Can you explain that a bit more, what it is and how it fits into this whole picture?
Sure. So DeFi is basically about creating a whole new financial system.
A whole new system.
But it's built on blockchain technology, and it operates completely outside of traditional finance.
So no banks, no Wall Street.
Exactly. It's about individuals having more control over their own money.
That's a big shift.
It is. It's like taking power back from the big institutions.
So imagine you need a loan.
Or you want to send money overseas.
You don't have to go through a bank.
You can do it directly, peer-to-peer, through these decentralized platforms.
That's pretty radical.
It is. It challenges the very foundation of how we think about finance.
And while DeFi is still pretty new,
It's still in its early stages.
it has the potential to completely change the game.
No doubt it's a real disruptor.
This article also mentions more crypto ETFs being approved.
Crypto ETFs, that would be huge for mainstream adoption.
How so?
Well, right now, investing in crypto can be a bit of a hassle.
Yeah, it can be confusing, especially for regular people,
But imagine if you could just buy shares of a crypto ETF.
just like any other stock.
Exactly, through your regular brokerage account.
That would make it so much easier for people to get into crypto.
Totally. It would open the doors to a whole new wave of investors.
And as more institutional money flows in,
It would further legitimize crypto as an asset class.
it's like a snowball effect.
Exactly. More adoption, more integration, more growth.
So we've got these potential regulatory changes, the market's going wild, global institutions getting involved, and the possibility of complete financial revolution.
It's a lot to process.
It feels like we're standing at the edge of something really big.
It does, doesn't it?
But with any new technology, there are always challenges.
Oh, for sure. There are always bumps in the road.
What are some of the things we might face as crypto goes mainstream?
Well, one of the biggest ones is regulation. Or rather, the lack of it in many parts of the world.
That uncertainty is a problem.
It creates a lot of risk, both for investors and for the industry itself.
So clear and consistent rules, that's essential.
Absolutely. It's crucial for fostering innovation and protecting people.
We need that balance.
Exactly. Too much regulation stifles creativity. Too little creates chaos.
And then there's scalability.
Ah, yes, the eternal struggle of blockchain.
Some of these networks just can't handle a massive influx of users.
It's like trying to fit 1,000 cars through a one-lane tunnel.
And as more people adopt crypto,
Those networks are going to get overloaded.
so finding solutions to that scalability problem, that's crucial.
Absolutely. We need systems that can handle the growth if you want crypto to truly go mainstream.
Okay, so we've talked about regulation, scalability. What else should we be thinking about?
Well, there's the whole issue of security.
Security, yeah, that's a big one.
Crypto is built on this idea of decentralization, which is great in many ways.
But it also creates new challenges, right?
Exactly. There's no central authority to, call if something goes wrong.
So how do we ensure that these systems are secure?
It's a complex issue. There's no easy answer.
But it's something that we need to figure out, right?
Absolutely. Security is paramount, especially as more people trust their money and data to these systems.
And then there's the question of privacy.
Privacy, yeah, that's another big one.
Crypto has this reputation for being anonymous.
But it's not always the case.
So how do we balance the need for transparency?
With the right to individual privacy.
Especially as governments and institutions get more involved,
It's a delicate balance.
and one that we need to get right if we want people to trust this technology.
Absolutely. Trust is everything in the digital world.
Okay, so we've got regulation, scalability, security, privacy. These are all big challenges.
They are, but they're also opportunities.
How so?
Well, by addressing these challenges, we can create a more robust, more secure, and ultimately more beneficial system for everyone.
It's like we're building the plane while we're flying it, right?
Kind of, yeah. It's a constant process of innovation and adaptation.
But that's also what makes it so exciting.
Totally. We're on the cutting edge of something truly transformative.
And it's up to all of us to shape the future of this technology.
Governments, businesses, individuals, we all have a role to play.
And that's what makes this whole conversation so important.
Absolutely. We need to be having these discussions now.
To ensure that this technology is used for good.
And that it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
It's about building a more equitable and inclusive financial system.
That's the ultimate goal.
And crypto and blockchain, they could be the tools that help us get there.
It's definitely possible, but it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of collaboration, and a lot of forward thinking.
It's a challenge, but an exciting one.
I think so too.
We're living in a truly remarkable time.
Absolutely. We're witnessing the birth of a new era.
And it's up to us to decide what that era will look like. So we've talked about a lot in this deep dive.
We really have.
Everything from the regulatory stuff to, the potential impact on the whole financial system.
It's been a whirlwind tour of the crypto world.
It feels like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah, a pivotal moment.
The decisions made now will shape the future of crypto.
No doubt about it.
And we've talked about, how Trump's reelection could create this crypto-friendly environment.
Right, but what does that actually look like?
Yeah, what would that mean in practice?
Well, if we take Clayton's hints about this comprehensive legislation seriously, we could see a much clearer regulatory framework emerging.
Which would be a big change from the current situation.
Oh, yeah. Right now, it's kind of a patchwork of rules.
So what would this new framework look like?
Well, it could include things like clear guidelines on token offerings.
Yeah.
Maybe a framework for stable coins, even the creation of a U.S. central bank digital currency.
Whoa, that's a big one.
It is. It would be a major shift.
And, of course, the devil's in the details, right?
Absolutely. It all depends on how this legislation is written.
Would it strike that balance between encouraging innovation and protecting consumers?
Right. And would it be flexible enough to adapt to the, ever-changing nature of crypto?
Those are all big questions.
Questions that policymakers are going to have to grapple with.
What about the role of, traditional financial institutions?
The big banks, Wall Street, all that.
Do you think we'll see more collaboration between them and the crypto world?
I think it's inevitable. We're already seeing it happen.
Like how so?
Well, you've got JP Morgan exploring blockchain.
Yeah.
Swift, looking at integrating digital assets.
As crypto goes mainstream, these institutions are going to have to adapt.
Or risk being left behind.
What about the average person?
The everyday folks, yeah.
How could all of this impact their lives?
Well, imagine a world where you can send money to anyone, anywhere, instantly.
And with almost no fees.
Exactly. Or access financial services without needing a bank.
Crypto and blockchain could make all of that possible.
It's about giving individuals more control, more power over their finances.
It's a pretty exciting vision for the future.
It is, but there are also potential downsides.
Right. We've talked about the challenges.
We need to be aware of the risks, too.
What are some of the things that worry you?
Well, one concern is economic inequality.
If access to these technologies isn't distributed fairly.
Exactly. We need to make sure everyone benefits, not just a select few.
And what about, misuse?
Oh, yeah. There's always the risk that these technologies could be used for illicit activities.
Crime, money laundering, all that.
We need strong safeguards in place to prevent that.
And then there's privacy.
Ah, yes. The eternal dilemma.
How do we ensure individual privacy?
While also maintaining transparency and accountability.
It's a tough balance to strike.
But it's crucial. We need to get it right.
So it seems like there's a lot to think about.
More than we can probably cover in one deep dive.
Both the potential benefits and the potential risks of this technology.
It's a double-edged sword, like any powerful tool.
But it's a tool that we can use to shape a better future.
If we use it wisely.
That's the key, right?
Absolutely. It's up to all of us to ensure that this technology is used for good.
That it benefits humanity as a whole.
That's the ultimate goal.
Well, this deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has been quite a journey.
We've covered a lot of ground, but I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah. There's always more to explore.
This whole world of crypto and blockchain, it's constantly evolving.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
It is. It's like watching history unfold right in front of us.
And we get to be a part of it.
To our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of crypto in a potential Trump 2.0 future. We've explored a lot today. From the potential regulatory shifts and market reactions to the long-term implications of this technology for the future of finance. It's clear that we're at a pivotal moment, and the decisions we make today will shape the landscape for years to come. As we navigate this evolving landscape, it's crucial to stay informed, be critical, and always ask questions. Don't forget to check the show notes for links to all the resources we discussed today. And be sure to tune in to our next episode as we continue to explore the ever-evolving world of technology and its impact on our lives.